cameras rolling. Action.
Which 10 years ago, if anybody had asked me what does AI stand for, I would probably said absolutely impossible. I had very good bosses.
You have a target, sales target kind of thing there.
My generation, the Switch generation, essentially created cocoons. Okay. Making sure that they lived and died in a specific cocoon that has been created.
That's true.
Today, you get your children to call your domestic help auntie, but that's it. They don't know the children, they don't know where they live. Akhil and his three brothers run the chai and sutta shop right outside my office. Okay?
You know his name.
Yes.
Nice.
I do.
Actually, the only thing that is stopping is you're not asking.
Pooch nahi mein kya hai? Yes, no, maybe. Maybe can always become yes. No can always become maybe.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you, Ajith. And it's been a long pending conversation. I think thanks for being as part of the IMBX thing. Just to give some context, we are setting up this platform called Sangam, where we are bringing together faculties and students together. But as part of this, we are having conversation with a lot of entrepreneurs, faculty, students on capturing their journey and also capturing a lot of their learning mindset. I think today's conversation, we could maybe potentially focus on the learning mindset and your entrepreneurial journey, but also saying that you have been working a lot on AI and something quite different. We'll keep that as a shot there, but hopefully we will capture some of your journey in the AI space and how things are evolving right now. Maybe we can start with saying that your journey has been quite different, right? Like many of them have a very entrepreneurial journey, either from the beginning and then you are a series of entrepreneurs. But you have been working for quite a lot of time, and then you switched into entrepreneurial very late. I don't know whether I can. You are never late, but towards quite after working in a certain organization. So maybe small story on how you got started, and then where are you right now?
Very interesting. Thank you very much for having me, Diljit. I appreciate the time that you've taken and to have offered me a place like IIM to be able to even have this conversation. So, which is fantastic. I appreciate that. It's a very interesting notice that I saw once in Kerala, 100% literacy state, and this is downtown Cochin. So they had a bunch of boards on the road which said, "Parking only parallel." There's supposed to be parallel parking only. Okay. But what was written there was parking only parallel.
Okay.
When the structure should be different, right?
Correct.
At the end of the day, you're trying to communicate something. And the communication should be explicit. Obviously, there's a brevity associated with communication which enables people to understand faster. That learning mindset, and as you rightly said, my personal career has been through multiple ups and downs, and it's been quite a journey the last 52 years of my life. I have always maintained that I am probably the best example of how flawed the Indian educational system is.
Wow. Okay.
I went to hotel school. I have a bachelor's degree in hotel management. Not for any other reason but the fact that was the only entrance exam that I cleared.
Okay.
That was the only reason why I went to hotel school.
Okay.
I then subsequently, when I was working in Wipro Technologies, I was told that I cannot be promoted to general manager because I didn't have a master's degree. Till then, nobody had essentially told me that I was lacking in education.
Okay.
And then they had, thanks to IIM Bangalore as well, they had this MBA program, of which I was also a part of. As I was going through that program is when I realized that some of the fundamentals of pedagogy, and specifically things that you do without even understanding on a daily basis why you're doing it, but because there's a certain amount of, muscle reflex or mind reflex that enables you to do a particular task in a particular method. It's only when I came back to uni or when I came to study that I realized, okay, this is the reason. These are the academic fundamentals that I'm following when I'm doing something. that got me more piqued, and therefore I went ahead and did my MS as well at the University of Delaware in information management. And having gone through all of this from an educational perspective, I run an AI company, which 10 years ago, if anybody had asked me what does AI stand for, I would probably said absolutely impossible. But today I say artificial intelligence.
Absolutely.
Am I the person best equipped to run an AI company? The answer is absolutely not. I don't know to write a single line of code. I've never written a single line of code. I never worked in hotels. I've always worked with technology companies. I understand convergence and the fact that technology can be an enabler, a facilitator, and that it can have a significant impact across multiple domains. In your introduction, you also said that I worked and then subsequently became an entrepreneur. I've also had an entrepreneurial stint in between.
All right. Okay.
Which was during the dot-com era in 98, 99. In those days, it was quite funny. For some reason, the world decided that every Indian was a coder. So I remember Craig Shate, my partner in Sydney, Australia, coming and calling me from Hong Kong, where he had gone to raise funds for iHost, which was the name of our company, saying, they were asking, where is the Indian? So I said, my Indian is sitting in Sydney.
Okay.
We raised funds. We essentially started what is the first destination management software company online. It failed miserably, became a part of the dot-com bust. Multiple stories that came as a part of the dot-com bust. I lost a shirt on my back, literally lost a shirt on my back. And that is when I decided to work again because I had to rebuild myself from scratch.
All right.
And then turned entrepreneur again with Camcom in 2017 because I felt there was still a last hurrah left in my life where I needed to prove to myself more than anybody else that I can still make things work. So hence Camcom. And I always tell this of Umesh, my co-founder, and he had a very successful exit just before the dot-com bust from his first entrepreneurial stint. So he knows what to do. I know what not to do.
Okay, very interesting. No, so I mean, just want to dig bit deeper into it, right? I mean, since we are talking about learning mindset, you have no clue about coding and AI and technology, but you started a technology company. So what was the journey specifically there, for example, without knowing technology? How did you manage to understand many of these things? Because that's very key, right? People say, I don't know. It's quite funny, right? Because people can actually figure out, I mean, we use the word a lot, figure out, saying that we can figure out anything out. Nowadays, everything is there in the internet. So how did you figure this out? Because was it like a straight line? What was the idea of starting Camcoms?
As you can see from the receipt of the airline and the we've been around the block multiple times.
Yes.
Right. And, Umesh's hairline is even worse than mine. See, we were very clear in our minds that we wanted a technology play, not a industry-focused or a domain-focused solution play. And that is what essentially led to the birth of Gifto, even before Camcom. So, Gifto was the name of the company in its first avatar. Now, the concept of Gifto came because of Chan's reading of a magazine article on the now defunct Go Air. I was flying in from Mumbai to Bangalore, and I read this article in the magazine which said that some 49 or 50% of the pictures on Insta are food and beverage related. Now, that obviously kicked something in me because after all, I went to hotel school and worked a significant amount of my time with hotel systems. I said, how come, if there are so many pictures, content being generated, how come people haven't figured out a way to monetize it? So much like any wannabe entrepreneur who has a eureka moment, I also became a blinkered horse. I went after it, did a bit of research, and I said, okay, what if I had the ability, for example, when do people remember people? It's normally when you have food that you both have consumed in the past.
Is it?
Yes.
Actually? Okay.
It's a very instantaneous moment, a fleeting moment. But then thanks to people of your age, the millennials and the other generations, you guys are all about instant gratification.
Correct.
So I said, if you guys are generating so much of data, clicking pictures left, right, and center of everything that you think about, a simple thing. I mean, you and I have known each other for a while, so you don't drink. However, most of the time when you come home, what we typically tend to have is a whiskey. Right?
Correct.
So that whiskey, if when I have it, there is every likelihood that I'll remember you.
Okay.
Right.
Very.
Or for that matter, you and I go together and have, let's say, biryani somewhere.
Correct.
Right.
Those
Those fleeting moments will always jog a memory.
When you actually tell it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, because all the memories are either related with food or you are sitting somewhere. And this one, that's interesting. I've never thought it that way. Yeah. Okay.
So I said, okay, if people are taking pictures left, right, and center, going trigger happy on their cameras, what if I had the ability to click, for example, I'm, let's say, sitting in a bar. Okay, I'm having Black Dog, Shiva's Regal, or whatever. And I suddenly remember you. Okay. What if I had the ability to click a picture of that glass, identify that this is a particular drink, there's lat long geocodes, etc. I can tell you exactly where I'm sitting. Pick all of that together. Enable me to gift you that very same picture that I clicked. I send it to you saying, I've already made the payment online. I send it to you saying, Diljit, this drink is on me the next time you come to this place.
Okay.
Okay. Instant gratification. So we went ahead with that. We quickly turned it around.
So did you set up a company in that sense? The Gifter was a company during that time. Okay. So what was the primary objective at that time?
Disruption of gifting.
Okay.
Gifting had to be disrupted.
Okay.
Because you are talking about, I mean, even today most people prefer gift cards or a bunch of things, right? But no, I want you to be a part of my memory. Right? That is the whole thing. The emotional connect was that memory. Right? So we quickly launched it in Smoor chocolates. Vimal Sharma, fortunately, is a good friend.
Okay.
He was kind enough to indulge us and said, okay, go ahead and use my bases as your testing ground. So we did that. And one day I was standing at the Indranagar outlet, speaking to a person, a young gentleman, to download the app. He downloaded it. He clicked pictures. He loved it. He gifted it to his girlfriend, to his mother, and to a bunch of friends and all that. Then he turned around and asked me the million-dollar question, if I may say. He said, sir, I gift maybe once in a month. I buy every day. Where is the buy button?
Okay.
And I suddenly realized, oh my God, I will just let go of 99% of the market for 1% of the market.
When was this? I mean, just to get the context, right? These are pre-Swiggy and delivery eras, or it was specifically during that times?
They were very much around, but not at the scale that
they are operating right now.
I'm talking about end of 2016, early 2017.
Okay.
Before Google Lens.
Yes.
The single most important thing is before Google Lens. Visual discovery was not something that people were talking about at that point in time. So for us, this was all about visual discovery. Right. So the moment he asked me this question, I suddenly realized that we really need to go back to the drawing board. So we went back to the drawing board.
So this thought, I'm going back to the learning mindset, right? It came from a customer or somebody who was literally trying to buy it, and then you were asking yourself, saying that, what should we do at that time?
This is the learning mindset, and this is something that I've always said, and I've maintained. It's something that has helped me in my life. Invariably, most of these successes that you find in the world have nothing to do with eureka moments.
Correct.
Nothing to do with the brilliance and foresight of people. It just has it is the outcome of your ability to listen and make course corrections as you move forward.
Yeah, we hear this word listen a lot, right? But can you break that down? Because usually, I've heard myself, you're saying, it may not be listening to person, it may be listening to that book that you read during the flight back. That's also kind of listening, right? Can you break that down a bit? Because I know you're an avid reader. I mean, maybe you're not as reading as much as you should maybe like before, but these things come into play. People think it's just about reading one thing or understanding from one person, but the perspective that you get from multiple people actually turned out you become a good. So how did you get into this listening or learning mindset per se?
I had very good bosses.
Okay, what does that mean?
So throughout my life, I've been a salesman.
Okay.
Okay, the one, and that at the risk of sounding immodest, I'm very good at it.
Okay.
Now, what is sales? Sales is the ability to listen to requirements, right? And when you listen to a requirement, you subsequently your mind starts building up a story that you can essentially create, which would cater to XYZ requirements as they are listed, right? But when does a sale happen? The sale happens when the person buying has a vested interest. A sale does not happen between organizations; it happens between two people.
Okay. Okay.
Right. If I am able to tell you that using me, your next promotion is guaranteed, your next salary hike is guaranteed, the vested interest already there. So what do I need to understand from you as a buyer and me as a seller? Right. The story should necessarily have what is in it for you.
For that, I think you need to listen a lot from what the other person is saying, right?
Exactly. You're not hearing, you're listening, because you need to understand that and create it, bake it into the story that you narrate.
What is the difference between hearing and listening? I mean, it may be very simple, but
okay. You know, if you are okay, what kind of music do you?
Rahman, A.R. Rahman.
A.R. Rahman. Do you listen to A.R. Rahman or do you hear A.R. Rahman?
Listen, maybe, right?
Precisely. Because you like him.
That's true.
You understand more. You would like to understand more.
Correct.
You understand the difference in the ragas, the talas, the swaras, the kind of instruments, be it percussion, be it wind, be it others. You pay attention.
Correct.
Right. And you essentially keep it in yourself. But on the other hand, you are listening to Sonu Nigam. You're not listening, you're hearing.
Correct. Yeah.
Or an Anu
Because you're not potentially putting your attention to the conversation that you are trying to do. That's really interesting. I think people tend to hear more, and then I think once you start listening to people, I think your ability to generate ideas and also put these things together and makes a lot. So going back to your story, right? I mean, you listened technically to the person who was trying to buy it. Yeah. So did you get the buy button up and running or?
Yes. So we immediately took it back to the labs, and we junked the idea of Gifto.
Okay.
Completely junked the idea of Gifto.
Wow.
Because we said we are now, because I listened to them, I said it makes no sense to go after 1% of the market, leaving 99% of the market. So we need a new way. Now, what is a new way? A new way is to be able to identify anything under the sun through a picture and make sure that you have the ability to buy it. Right? Our focus would be on food and beverage in the case of
at that time.
So when we started looking through some of these things, we realized that on a mobile phone device, literally everything had been monetized in one way or the other.
In that sense? In what sense?
Your emails and everything. You had e-commerce, because we went from e-commerce to m-commerce.
Yeah.
I said there is one hardware piece that has not been monetized, the camera.
Okay.
Hence camera commerce.
Okay, very interesting. So it was a new concept at that time.
A new concept that we were trying to bring into play. And we said, okay, if I forget about food and beverage, I see this particular dress that you're wearing or the shirt that you're wearing. If I'm able to click a picture of it, I should identify that it's a red shirt. If there's a logo, it should identify that it's a Tommy Hilfiger or whatever. It should search online and get you that for the cheapest price.
Okay. So this was kind of the stage 2 of your business, if I may call it. Like Gifto was you are gifting the food beverages, and the stage 2 was okay. Now you have broadened your horizon, saying that you can actually gift anything.
Exactly.
Is it gifting or still the buy? So the buy came into the picture.
Buy came into the picture.
Okay.
Forget about gifting. You can gift and buy.
Okay.
Because it's a visual discovery.
Great.
I can click a picture of, for example, this particular camera. It should identify that it's a camera of XYZ provenance. It should go online, search for where it can be brought at the cheapest price.
Perfect.
Camcom was launched on 7th September 2017.
Okay. So how long you have been with Gifto? I mean,
4 months.
4 months. Oh, so the pivot happened quite quickly then. Yeah.
So I think we had some insane number of downloads of Camcom. Everybody was clicking left, right, and center. People are discovering can it actually happen. So I remember seeing pictures of cars on the road. People are clicking pictures to see if it would actually identify that it's a car and whether it would take you to any one of the dealerships to buy it.
Correct.
A whole host of apparel things came up as well. But nobody bought anything.
Because there was...
I don't know, people weren't buying. Because that was our business.
But you had the ecosystem to buy it? Or
Because we would take them to a Myntra, Flipkart, whoever, right?
Okay. So you would identify and take them to the respective place. Yeah.
And we were supposed to get a commission.
Okay. That was a model at that time.
Model.
Okay.
We didn't get anything.
Okay.
Then we realized, okay, maybe there's something wrong in what we're doing. And it was around that time that Umesh and I seriously started speaking to people about venture capital. Because since both of us were in some way or the other entrepreneurs during a previous era, so to speak, we were very clued in on the new startup ecosystem that had come in. So we started reaching out to people. We weren't very sure how this game works and so on and so forth. But we met with Ramesh Ramanathan of Artiman Ventures. I distinctly remember it was a breakfast at...
again, food. And then that's when, like, okay.
At the what is the name of that hotel? The Orchid, right? The one on Old Airport Road.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we had breakfast. So he heard us out. And then he asked $1 billion question.
Okay. So second $1 billion came from the VC. Okay.
He said, guys, before he asked a question, he said a couple of things. One, he said, you do realize that Google is trying to do something similar and that Google Lens is going to be a reality very quickly.
Okay.
We said, yes, but, us being cocky as we are, he said, we can beat Google. He said, you can beat Google provided you have $1 billion funding.
Correct.
And he said, no Indian VC will back something like that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, he said, but between the two of you, how many years of active B2B sales experience do you have? And I think that at that point in time itself was maybe 50 years.
Okay.
Of hard
combined experience.
Sales experience around the world. And he asked us, then what are you doing in B2C?
It may be the simplest of thing, but I think unless somebody points out to you, I think it's generally what we see, right? I mean, the simplest of problems that you pointed out right now, it may be just lying right there. I think then we will come back to the word listening again, right? Listening to that, somebody who is telling it and then willing to change. I think why is it that you wouldn't be able to see that?
We tend to become oblivious to the obvious.
Okay.
Because what is right in your face, most of the time, I mean, see, you and I look in the mirror every day, we keep telling ourselves we look good.
Yeah.
Right. It takes somebody else to tell you. For example, the fact that I am horizontally challenged. When was the last time your mother told you you put on weight? Mothers rarely tell you that you put on weight. But my mother told me I put on weight, I remember.
Okay. Yeah.
Others will say, oh, you look scrawny, you are put on any weight, and so on and so on.
Absolutely.
When your mother says,
that is true.
Lord, you have put on some weight.
So you think other people, I mean, just to put it in context, right? So for example, really, there is something which is really on your face, right? When you're trying to do anything, I think most of the time other people know it much better than what you do. right?
True.
And it's also your ability to have conversation with people and understand and listen. I think it will take that difference.
Yes. It makes a huge difference.
How did the VC, they knew you before
I'm
or
connected to a common friend. He did
but he
not-
was looking at the overall,
he was looking at the overall picture. But this hit home hard. They were saying that, guys,
because it's pivot 3.
yeah, because you know, so many years of experience, the kind of track record you guys have in sales is amazing. And you know people around the world. You know, why aren't you looking at, because this is the easiest to sell to other
Correct.
corporates instead of you trying to focus on revolutionizing the B2C space. And then he said, you know, come back to me with how this can fit into a large industry like, for example, insurance. Right?
Okay.
And we will talk further. Now, you know, my knowledge of insurance or Umesh's knowledge of insurance for that matter is we are, you know, customers.
We take something from.
We take something from. Other than that, we have no idea what insurance is.
Absolutely.
So I did what any guy would do. I called up a couple of people and said, okay, do you know any insurance guys? And they connected us to a couple of people. And I distinctly remember that Umesh was actually traveling to Pune because he was getting admission for his son
Okay.
at Flame University. And he came back, we got connected to Bajaj Allianz. Umesh, honestly, we didn't know what the use case was. We had no clue what this could be used for in as far as the use case is concerned. He went there, he had conversations with Padmanabhan sir, who was the head of claims, and they kept talking, and finally they realized, okay, accidents.
Okay.
Okay. Now, cars get into accidents, they need to be surveyed, assessed before a settlement can be done. Now, it's a very cumbersome process. Typically, it takes anywhere from 7 to 21 days, depending on which insurance company it does, and so on and so forth. Can we reduce the cycle time? And he came back with, I think, 1.5 million images of damaged cars.
Already he had the database.
Bajaj Allianz had those pictures. They
Of course.
by their surveyors. But they didn't know what to do.
They didn't do what. Okay.
We knew what to do.
You were already into that.
Exactly. So we essentially took that and created models which would enable Bajaj Allianz to reduce the cycle time for claims below 50,000 rupees, which is the majority of the claims, from under 7 days to 5 minutes.
7 days to 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay. I would like to, just highlight, now there is a problem and a solution kind of thing, right? That's usually sometimes when entrepreneurs or like when you are trying to solve something, you don't know what you're trying to solve. You keep telling, right, you should have the right question before having the right answer. So maybe you should, if you can elaborate a bit on that, right? Because you are suddenly realized a problem and then you're looking for solution, right? So I'm sure there would be nitty-gritties in terms of how you reach there. It may sound very simplistic right now.
Sure.
So,
no, I think the big, we had Camcom, which is a visual discovery platform.
Correct.
Now, when you go about creating a visual discovery platform, you obviously need to start the models. You have to start learning to understand products, because that's what we are in. We are not, any technology, people place product, right? So there is people which has been done to death and literally by every government in the world, which is surveillance.
Correct.
There is place, which is what Google Lens did with Google Maps data. And then there is product. Now, we realize that we are in the product space, right? And then suddenly, again, a random piece of information, which came up in some, magazine that I was reading. 63% of the products in this world are made from metal, plastic, or glass.
Okay. It's another aha moment.
It's another aha moment. If so, then the fundamental has to cover that to start off with. Right. The other 37% we'll figure out.
Okay.
Let's start with 63%.
Okay.
And that's how Camcom essentially came into being, right? Because then it was able to identify cars, it was able to identify products. But product is because it's metal, plastic, and glass. When the images came of damaged cars, it became that much more easier for the system because what is a car? Metal, plastic, and glass.
Okay. So your focus shifted from technically focusing on a product to Something which is
damage.
Okay.
So identifying damage.
Okay.
So
that's the pivot 3.
That was pivot 3. And that, obviously, Bajaj Allianz said, we'll go into a pilot with you and we need a 1-year exclusivity, which we are happy to give. And it went off very, very well. But then, again, the question remains, right? Now what?
Correct.
You mean to tell me that I can only sell this to insurance companies? That doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, it's not that we are automotive experts or anything. We are not outside of driving a car, or...
So you have already started working with these Bajaj Allianz and they gave you all the data.
Yeah.
So it was like a product that you're already training your data. So what was that called? Like you kept telling like large vision model, right? I mean, which we use LLMs right now, left, right, and center. So, but these were discovered quite. 2016, 17 is early days. This LL thing is still very. I mean, at least we have been hearing it for the first time. What is LLM? LLVM.
Okay, let's take it this way. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Okay.
Great. What's the context of the picture? I can derive 1,000 words from that picture and give it to you as metadata. But what is it supposed to mean?
Correct.
If it's a Pablo Picasso, right? It should know that it's a Pablo Picasso. And hence, that extraction of the data makes sense. Unlike large language models, which are very generic in nature, and then subsequently refinements are done for them to go ahead and do what they have to do specific to a use case. Vision models cannot be. You need context, you need scenarios, you need depth understanding, and so on and so forth. Only then does it make sense. So it becomes very focused on specific things. Now, what we chose was quality. From a business perspective, and let's be honest, India is not synonymous with quality like a Germany or a Japan.
Correct.
Right. Now, there was that interest as well. Why cannot that happen? And there is so much of enabling technologies that can make it happen. And if India wants to become the second largest or third largest economy in the world, that obviously has to be powered by exports. And products that don't have quality don't get exported. So there is a huge enough market for us to be able to do that. Now, if you take damage, in the aftermarket of any product, right? A damage is a damage, isn't it? The manifestation of that would be a dent, tear, broken, so on and so forth. Now, what is broken on metal can be repaired.
Correct.
But what is broken on glass
cannot be. Okay.
Right. So the first thing is for the system to understand these basic fundamentals. And then as it continues to become better and better, you essentially divorce it from the form.
Okay.
A aberration on any surface is a damage. That is what the system is supposed to do. Everything else can be built on top of that. The workflow that I mentioned, if it is metal, it should be reported as a tear.
Okay.
However, it can be repaired. But I can't report a tear on glass. No? That is broken. There is no other classification for it. And it can only be replaced. Right.
How did your focus come to this specific area, right? Of course, you got the data saying that 63% of metal, glass, and plastic. But I mean, because sometimes when people are also trying to learn, they are trying to learn too many things, right? It's also the ability to focus on few things that will actually put your ability to go further and deeper into it. Since you have gone very deeper into large vision models and also very deeper into damage specific, how did that come into play? And because then suddenly when you become successful at something, then there are a lot of things that is opening up for you, but your ability to focus actually makes a huge difference. So how did you focus into damage per se? Is it also by listening, or is there any other?
And the fact that we were thrown into it.
Okay.
Because when Bajaj essentially came to us with this particular use case, obviously we came to a standstill because immediately after that we had customers like HDFC and a bunch of others who were willing to sign up. But as a company, we obviously need to understand the applicability of this across a larger ecosystem because we need to create business. It was around that time, again, we know that, okay, now automobiles have to be inspected. So we started off with claims in insurance. Now in India, there is also the concept of health checks before you buy a car, right? And before it can be underwritten.
Correct.
So, can we do that using the same technology? We understood we can. Okay, that is great. Now, how do we move up or down the value chain? We were very clear that we cannot be an insurance tech provider because we don't know anything about insurance.
Correct.
We have our end-to-end loop closure is very small and what I keep referring to as a necessary evil in the larger ecosystem. Right? We receive images, we annotate the images, we come back and tell you whether it should be repaired or replaced. The granularity of damage, right? Before that and after that, we don't know. We have zero insight.
Correct.
Right? Because that's a workflow process defined by people who have so much of domain knowledge in insurance. It would be next to impossible and futile.
So you didn't get into domain per se. You looked at the workflow of how that needs to be done at your level. I'm also wondering during this time, this is quite new, right? You are a new team member. You are a new entrepreneur. Your team members, of course, you wouldn't have created a large vision model or something like that. This came up as part of definitely as part of the request that has came. Of course, you were building something on it. How did you adapt to this specific change? And also, I don't know what's that team member at that team size during that time. It's also very critical to take the team's learning curve through this journey, right? I'm sure you guys are listening and your co-founder Umesh is listening. But how do you make sure that your team is listening to some of this and how do they adapt to some of these changes?
I think I've been very lucky in the sense that because Umesh was leading the team at that point in time and he made the right choices when it came to bringing people on board. Especially given the fact that, Umesh is a mechanical engineer by training and by vocation. His idea of attacking a problem is where is a screwdriver.
Okay.
My idea of attacking a problem is as a sales guy is who do I catch?
Okay.
Because both sides have to, because at the end of the day you have a bottom up and you have a top down. So these have to necessarily coalesce for it to have an outcome. We were very lucky we don't have IITs or IISCs and others on our payroll. There are people who came from engineering colleges who had a natural inclination towards understanding new technology. And when given a challenge, they took it on themselves to go ahead and find a way. Right. See, the important thing is in any what does any degree equip you to? Finally.
Yeah, it's a good question to actually ponder on, right? Sometimes, when we also kind of recruit, right? We kind of try and say that we hire attitude and outsource skills, right? Sometimes it's the attitude, I think, which is kind of the very primary key thing that we need. Maybe a math graduate or some random graduate can actually, if he has inclination to, technically you're a hospitality sector running an IT company, like Umesh, a mechanical engineer actually running an IT company. So it's been the ability to figure things out, is it? So you have been, when you recruit, you don't look at those...
We do. First and foremost, yes, as you rightly said, attitude has to be there because attitude towards being open to learning. Open to learning.
What does that mean?
Being open to learning is the ability to not close your mind to a specific thing. I never say no to a meeting. Never ever. Because I think there'll be something out of that meeting that I will learn. The more number of people you interact with, the more you have become better. As a person, right? We can sit in our ivory towers and expect people to, essentially come and tell you, okay, these are things that are going around in the world. But the thing is, ivory towers limits your ability to understand body language, to understand the locale, the setting, etc. Because all that plays a role, right? If you're dating. If you're dating and you're taking out your partner to some place, the location plays a key role, right? And when you go to a pub, there is a reason why you're going to a pub. When you go to a movie, there is a reason why you're going to a movie.
Correct.
The conversations there are different.
Correct.
Right. So if I'm just sitting in my office, then I'm out of touch with reality.
How do you make sure that you're not in?
I don't. I'm normally on the road 3 weeks a month.
Okay.
I'm always meeting people.
Okay.
I don't like the concept of being in office. You just need to work smart. I don't even expect people to be in office. Unless, of course, you're not part of the lab or something, because there are obviously
trying out things,
confidential things that we need to safeguard. But, my concept of reaching out and I was telling you this kind of fresh in my mind. I was telling one of my sales colleagues in India. Every month, okay, I make it a point to have spoken to a minimum of 60 people.
Okay, you have a check target, sales target kind of thing there.
I do.
60 people you will have a conversation with.
It could be a WhatsApp message, it could be an in-person call, it could be a meeting over a drink, it could be a meeting over breakfast, some meal, whatever. It could be random conversations with people, but have those conversations. Have those conversations. Because those conversations essentially open a world of opportunities that you never knew existed.
I'll put the second point as conversations with people. At least I'm 60. I mean, it's a key learning though. No, I mean, to the point, right? I mean, I think you always think, I mean, especially we are in online space, we tend to think that everything is just by consuming videos. I think conversations with really, I mean, it doesn't really matter whether they are at a very high entrepreneurial level or this one. Anybody whom you have conversation with, I think if you listen genuinely, I think there's a lot to learn, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have a 60 people target. It's kind of a sales target.
No, because it's also...
How is that working out for you? I mean,
it's not exceedingly well, because that is something that I have, like I said, I have very good bosses.
Okay.
You
kept telling bosses. Can you highlight some of them, and what were the key? I mean, what makes you mention them? What was the qualities that you would have picked up from them in terms of learning? I would focus on that.
I think the most important thing that I learned, one was listening. How to listen. How to listen.
Okay. Is there a technique for how to listen? I mean, I don't know.
There is a broad construct of that. Some of that, if broken down, for example, by listening to that person, am I able to understand their key responsibility areas and the KPIs that they have going for them to further their career? Am I asking the right questions to elicit those answers? Right. The second thing is, when you say listening, you also have to necessarily understand them. So I never go in for a meeting unless I have consumed literally everything that is available about them online.
Yeah.
And if, to the level I stalk.
Yeah.
And if I know their dog's name, my conversation will start with the dog.
Okay. I mean, this goes back to bit of studying and preparing before going into. I think we see, for example, some colleagues who come. Not colleagues. When we go for interview panels, right? I think if the basic question will be saying that, can you describe the role that you're applying for? And usually, I think 50% of the people fumble with that kind of question, say that they have not studied the role they are applying for. Is that true when people don't take their time to actually do a bit of back study? And that goes a long way even for sales, or even for cracking a job, or even if you're studying something as part of your exams. Having some bit of background research before going for...
It's unfortunate that, today you're literally consumed by data. So much of data available. But are you actually looking at the right data? Are you, again, going back, are you asking the right question?
I think it comes together, right?
Because, many a time I've been told, you need to have this exhaustive, multi-page list of people that you're going after, especially from a sales perspective. No, you don't. the first 3 months of your life, again, going back to a learning that I had from my time in the Middle East and in Australia and in Germany, it used to be razor sharp because that's how you defined it.
Razor sharp of what?
The universe. What is the universe you're going after? You cannot spray and pray
Okay.
because it does not result in anything. Instead, you define your universe saying, okay, these are the 10 people that I'm going after. 10 companies. In that 10 companies, there are what, 4, 5 people that are going to be decision makers or influencers. I need to know each and everything about those 5 people. Now I need to figure out how to get in front of them. Right? But that process, being razor sharp in terms of, because you have defined it, you know that this is where the money is. Instead, you're just spraying and praying. You send out I've always asked people, why are you sending out 500 emails? And the whole concept of lead generation, I've never been able to understand. Using a third agency to do lead generation. First and foremost, any email, and I'm sure if maybe all of you guys do this, if I'm in CC, I have a auto roll sales going to spam. Because if I'm in carbon copy, it is FYI for my information.
Correct.
It needs no action from me.
Correct.
Right? So why on earth should I even read it? If it is for my action, I'm in 2. It will specifically state, please take action. It could be approve, disapprove, whatever. Right? But there is an action associated with it.
I mean, I would want to, if you are addressing a student who has just passed out, right, and want to figure out how to approach maybe your job or anybody, any entrepreneur or any job, right? People struggle with it, right? I mean, there are fundamental things, what you said right now actually is applicable not only for a sale, but also for a student to actually crack many of the interviews. Can you speak to them saying that what is the key thing that they may need to do to get a good, I mean, most of the time, I mean, you also, I'm sure, experiencing that we have a lack of, there are a lot of students and a lot of amazing people who want to work in the company, and you never get into the right people. We struggle with it. And these are, if they could do something very simple, they could actually get a good position or get into an entrepreneurial journey. What could that be? It is in context of what you just mentioned from a sales point of view. I'm bringing it to a student point of view.
Sure. For me to answer that question, I think first it goes back to the first question that we started off here. What is the difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur?
Quite frankly, I don't know. Maybe you can explain that.
Let's look at it this way, right? Would you consider Larry and Sergey, the founders of Google, businessmen or entrepreneurs?
Entrepreneurs, maybe. I don't know.
Then they brought in Eric Schmidt as
They brought a lot of people and they pulled back themselves on the after a point. I think very early on they pulled back, and now you can see Sundar Pichai leading it, and they are not nowhere in the picture, but they will definitely come in points where they want to do something. You will see them actually.
So the funny thing is, the typical definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who's disrupting a space.
Okay.
Right. But Larry and Sergey never disrupted any space. If you think about it.
Correct.
There was Alta Vista anyway as a search engine.
Correct.
There was Yahoo as a search engine.
Correct.
All existed.
Correct.
Made it a better thing.
Yes.
But what they did subsequently made them entrepreneurs. Google Maps was an entrepreneur because it disrupted. It disrupted. Now the question is, was it their idea or was it Eric Schmidt's idea? We don't know because he was a CEO.
Correct.
Right. Tim Cook and Steve Jobs.
Entrepreneur, maybe I can say it as a business. Yeah, kind of.
There is a significant.
But you can really see the difference in what an entrepreneurial journey. Maybe the words may not be as relevant, but you can see the spectrum there. Yeah.
So I think that is something that people have to first and foremost in their minds understand. When you are saying that I want to do something, the question is, what do you want to do and how are you going to make a difference? When you disrupt something, the actual repercussions or the actual outcome is not defined. Right? In a business scenario, there are very tangible yardsticks that we use, right? My market share can go up by so much. My revenues can grow up by so much. Now, when you create something completely new, there are no precedents.
Very true.
There are no precedents. So, when a person be it, since the question was primarily focused on students and how they come in. See, I think somewhere along the way, and maybe it is because, as people say that, well, they haven't started calling me a boomer yet. They probably will.
The next...
I think there is something inherently flawed in the way that the generation after ours, because we were kind of like the switch generation, right? Because we knew what it was to be without mobile devices. And we are in that sense not digital natives. Digital natives were the ones who came subsequent to us. But my generation, the switch generation, essentially created cocoons. Okay? Making sure that they lived and died in a specific cocoon that has been created for them.
That's true. Yeah.
They don't know how to deal with people above them, neither do they know how to deal with people below them. It is only in this little ecosystem that they thrive. But you cannot do that. The world does not live like that.
It was maybe during that time.
But not anymore. Right? I mean, you can't say that, I will only deal with people who are equal to me.
Correct.
Right? You have to know. I remember distinctly having this conversation with another friend of mine. A lot of people tell me, oh, it's because you don't have kids that you don't understand this. No. What is the difference between the way that the domestic help during the time that I was growing up and right now my kids, or maybe my peers' kids are growing up? I used to call the domestic help Chechi or whatever, the equivalent in Malayalam. I played with their kids were my friends. I played with them. Most likely they were in my own class.
That is true.
I have had enough and more meals at their house. Right? They are also family.
Correct.
Today, you get your children to call your domestic help auntie, but that's it. They don't know the children. They don't know where they live.
That is true. Things have changed actually. I remember playing with many of our people who come there. We play together, and I think that was the only way to entertain yourself also now, because
And those are relations that withstand, because what it does is it gives you the ability to understand how the other parts of society works. Right? So today, if I put going back to the education system, if I put a student, let's say from Christ or in one of the large better universities here, I put them into a meeting with the President of India.
Oh, interesting.
Would they know how to deal with it?
Yeah. Even at a lower level, it will be difficult. I mean, President is still at a...
I'm taking the highest possible office of the country.
Why would it be?
Because they don't know. They have never dealt with people at that level. See, over a period of time, what has happened is that levels of difference have become broader and broader, bigger and bigger. When I was studying in school, the local district collector or divisional commissioner, the police chief, they all used to be part and parcel of the school system, right? They would be called in for something or the other. You would have some reason to go and talk to them, right? In your community, you had your neighbors were probably the police station house officer,
correct.
The local college principal. You had conversations with them.
Very true.
Today, where is the conversation? Conversations. That is why conversations are important.
We'll go back to conversations again. 60 people. No, but when you're addressing the students, they should be having conversations. What would you tell them?
Because I think, see, the most important thing is to have conversations across a spectrum. It is not about the number of conversations you have with your peer group.
That's true.
It is, for example, I'll give you a simple example. Akhil and his three brothers run the chai and sutta shop right outside my office. Okay.
You know his name.
Yes.
Nice.
I do. I do. And I thank him every year as a part of our annual day celebrations. I give him chocolates because the most important thing, sutta and coffee are given by him.
Very interesting. That's true. We forget to...
We forget.
It's taken for granted.
It's taken for granted.
That is true. why would you think it is happening? Is it because of the current way things are structured, or people just don't want to talk to, they're glued to their mobile systems, or I don't know.
I really don't know as to whether it is because they're glued to their mobile system.
But do you see a difference when you are trying to recruit? Do you see, I mean, what do you look for in people, right? Do you see people with a bit more, like we have a batch called Bachelors in Business and Entrepreneurship, and then I got an opportunity to talk to a few of them. And sometimes there are students who come and say 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds. I said, did this startup, I failed. But even if that person says, I did a startup for 6 months, I kind of failed at it. But the amount of information that you learn from them is quite a bit, because that journey is really, I think that makes a difference. Yesterday, one of my friends called me and said, "Oh, you have this bachelor's in entrepreneurship course, right? So how is the journey? Which is the best course in the country? Is it IMB? Is it IMA? Or is it Kozhikode?" I didn't have an answer to that. So what I was trying to answer is like trying to get an internship and go through the journey. I think that will give you more learning per se in the era of AI and technology, where actually, and then people have this notion saying that, oh, I've got 99.89. I think that days are slowly blurring out, right? Because the information is really in your fingertip. So a student, I would definitely, I mean, if I take a key learning, right, listening, and then the other thing is like have conversation with people. But in terms of doing backward, you said you could potentially do a lot of research and things like that. What do you look for somebody whom we are hiring? So in the point of view that what should a student do when they are trying to get hired into an organization?
Clarity of purpose, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a simple example. So, year before last, okay, I kept being told by my colleagues that there is this young schoolgirl keeps coming to our office and asking for the CEO.
Okay.
Okay. She kept coming. She was in the 8th standard, 9th standard or something. She kept coming into office and asking for the CEO. So, I wasn't there most of the time. I was traveling. So one day, when she came in, she got hold of me. Somebody told her that that's the CEO. So she came, she approached me and she said, I want to interview you. I said, specifically for what? It's about entrepreneurship. I have an assignment. I said, in which class are you? She said, 9th standard. Entrepreneurship in 9th standard. She said, no, that is just a way to get in front of you. I want your advice. I said, okay, good. One definite tick box. But I sat her down and she was explaining to me that I set up 3 businesses from the time I was in 6th standard.
Okay.
All of them failed.
Okay.
My mother lost 600 rupees, 1,000 rupees and 1,200 rupees.
Okay.
I said, okay. I said, what did you learn from all of that? She said, my mother was indulging. See, that is clarity.
Got it.
That is clarity. Because she immediately understood why she was failing. Because her mother was paying for things that she otherwise wouldn't have bought. Just because of the fact that it was her. So she wanted to know, how can I sell this to other people?
Okay.
She wanted.
And she approached you.
She approached me.
Okay.
She had zero issues in reaching out to people and saying, I need your attention.
Wow.
That is what you want. That is what a student should have.
And people are willing to give that attention.
Of course.
Actually, the only thing that is stopping is you're not asking.
Poochne mein kya hai? Every question has to be answered.
I'll take that as one more learning. Poochne mein kya hai?
Yes, no, maybe. Maybe can always become yes. No can always become maybe.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Is it actually true in sales also?
Yes.
Does no, what does it mean? You have to perceive?
You have to perceive. See, what is entrepreneurship in many ways? I can break it down to very simple 3 things. When you ask what characteristics of an entrepreneur versus a businessman. Perseverance.
Okay.
Persistence. Patience.
Wow. It's all PPP, is
It's
it?
all BPP.
You preach it in your. Okay.
You have to necessarily be persistent. Do not take no for an answer. Do not take no for an answer.
Perseverance, persistence, and
Patience.
patience. Okay. Can you share some story which explains this?
Sure.
I'm sure you would have cracked many, many no's to maybes to then yes.
I think the one that comes to mind is not actually part of Camcom. I mean, since you're talking about slightly larger deals. When I was working in Wipro, Intercontinental Hotels, 3.5 years.
Okay.
3.5 years.
Patience.
Yeah. Persistence and perseverance
Okay.
to bag a $150 million deal. Right. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. Again, I go back to larger deals because we don't have those kind of scale of deals in Camcom with SaaS companies. It's an IT services company. I sold myself to start with.
Okay. What does that mean?
I sold myself as a consultant.
Okay.
Went in there, worked with them, created the business case, and then got them to present it back to us saying we want to.
That's interesting. So that's patience and perseverance both. Okay, that's interesting. How can a student try and replicate some of this? I think your 8-year-old, I mean, 8th grade kid story really makes sense, right? I mean, no background, no this one, just perseverance. I think patience. She did not get it, and she kept coming back and maybe asked, and one day she got the opportunity to meet you. Then did you? I mean, just to conclude that story, what happened to that 8-year-old?
So I told her that she needs to go back and tell her mother to stop buying what she makes. Okay, and that she should essentially, because her mother was buying her inventory.
Okay.
She understood that also. Okay, so I said, you stop telling your mother to buy your inventory. Instead, she said, how do I sell it? I said, you stay in the apartment complex opposite my office. These are typically sold to home. It's some kind of costume jewelry. She said, typically aunties will buy it from me, uncles will buy it from me. I said, no. Instead, what you do is, how many grandparents are there in that apartment? She said, Tata, Tati, all of them, maybe another 10, 15. I said, you go tell them that for your next grandchild's birthday, you'll buy this from me. And you will pay 100 rupees more. Because this is bespoke.
Interesting. Did she do that?
She did.
Just one more question. How did she find you? I mean, like randomly, or does she know somebody?
She saw the.
So that's very interesting, right?
Camcom Technology is board also. She walked into the office and said, I want to speak to the CEO.
Very, very inspiring. I mean, small stories actually capture a long message, right? To many of the students who are, it doesn't actually, I keep referring to this within our team, right? What would be the best way to get a job in IMBX, right? Like, you just go to our website, figure out who is leading this role, right? And just write to them saying that I am da 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 da. Here is a list of things I've done. Here is I'm a cameraman. This is what I'm doing. Can you please give me a role as a camera person, or as an intern, or as a this one? But actually, in my last 5 years, I've never got an email saying that, okay, I would like to do something in technology. So it's isn't it as simple as that? Even to
that's precisely what I said. Defining a universe. The clarity of purpose should come with defining a universe. No? Otherwise, you will think, okay, my job is XYZ. Now, one simple example that I think on Sunday. One of my colleagues was speaking to me, and we are talking about his sales numbers for India. His focus is on insurance. So, we are at almost the end of, we are in June. So, coming to the end of the first fiscal quarter. So, I asked what revenues are going to come in. He said, nothing. So, all of that is getting pushed. So, I said, no, you're running a deficit.
okay.
Remember that you're running a deficit. I said, okay, if some of these have been pushed, what have you added from a pipeline perspective? He said, I tried this, I tried that, and didn't work. So, how do you define your universe? This is insurance, right? There are 26 general insurance companies in India, catering to 1.4 billion people.
Is it?
Yeah, because that's our population, right?
Wow.
That's our population. You mean to tell me only 26 companies are doing insurance? No. there are brokers, there are bunch of people, intermediaries in between. So why do you think that our solution is only applicable to the 26 insurance companies?
Okay, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
The moment you have a... See, this is
Then
like,
actually when you define the universe, then you get a clarity what you want to do.
exactly.
I think for maybe students, they should figure out which company they want, which area they want to work. I think if you sort this fundamental things as part of what you want to do, then I think your universe become very, you use the word laser sharp,
Yeah,
focused and razor sharp, and then you get to know what it is. So I think before going into AI, I think you had mentioned your story of meeting Prime Minister Modi. And I think he captured all this that you said, right? When you were sharing the story, he was listening, he was prepared for the meeting. There was a lot of questions, very sharp, very focused questions. Can you highlight some of those learnings, right? I mean, what can we learn from Prime Minister Modi on how to prepare for a meeting? I mean, I would put it like that. Like, I mean, because you shared your experience about meeting him as a, and you were wowed, right? And what is that makes it very beautiful?
Let's start with the reason why I was called and given that audience in the first case. Camcom is the AI company that made the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia the first country in the world to use artificial intelligence to become United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 11 compliant.
Okay.
Again, not something that was thought through, not something that we were very clear that that is going to become nothing. It was just a series of incidents that essentially led to a happy outcome. But that gave us significant press coverage, and I reckon that caught the attention of somebody in the Prime Minister's office.
So it was an unforeseen outcome?
It was an unforeseen outcome.
But you did your part well, is it? Not to plan to sustainability goal and things like that. It was not at all in the picture. Okay, that's interesting.
In fact, the first time that this particular opportunity came to me, again, how did that opportunity come? I was speaking at the STEP conference I was part of a panel at a STEP conference in Dubai. The person moderating the panel was the Middle East partner of Kani, AT Kani, the consulting company. We obviously exchanged cards and forgot about each other. And then 7-8 months later, I get a call from Sushil, the gentleman, saying, Ajith, I remember that you guys were doing computer vision. We have this unique problem in Saudi Arabia. Do you think you guys can help? So I said, okay, tell me what the context is. So he said when MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, announced that all cities, specifically Riyadh, Jeddah and others, had to become world-class by 2030 and money is not a concern. It obviously caught everybody in the kingdom by surprise because people have to get it done. Because the decree came first, the policies came much later.
Okay.
But it was handed over to a gentleman by the name of Ali Raj, who is the Assistant Minister in charge of Municipalities, Rural Affairs and Housing of the government of Saudi Arabia. So he said, now if I have to understand what are the issues with these cities, I need somebody to tell me what the issues are. So he created an app called Snap and Set and gave it to the citizenry. The citizenry went trigger happy and some 3 million, 4 million incidents were reported in a couple of months. Obviously, it is not a sustainable model, right? You're being literally carpet bombed by images of issues ranging from potholes on the road to naked wires hanging loose to manhole covers missing to graffiti, vandalism, you name it. So then he reached out to Kani and said, now how do I figure out a way to derive intelligent data out of the images that I'm getting? They ran a search around the world, and maybe because Sushil inadvertently remembered that he met Ajith Nayar at this particular conference, he reached out to me as well. From what I understand, some 20-odd companies were reached out. When he gave me this context, I remember telling him explicitly, Sushil, this is not what our solution is built for.
Okay.
This is not what our solution is built for. He said, try it now. I said, okay. So they sent about 700 images.
But you're going beyond plastic and metal and glass now.
No, actually, that is a funny thing. Okay, I'll come to that in just a minute. I remember explicitly telling the team, please do not change anything. Just run it through and show me what the results are. And I had by then come back to Bangalore when Devashi came and showed me the results. It was reporting an 82.5% accuracy.
The same technology,
Yeah, the same thing with zero changes was reported. I said, that's not possible. I thought something had gone wrong.
Absolutely.
But I went back and looked at it, at each and every image. I realized something very interesting. When you have debris, construction debris, what do you typically tend to have? You have concrete, metal, plastic, glass, and everything else mixed.
Yeah.
Right. When a pothole is on, then there's a pothole on the road. It means a piece of bitumen or concrete is missing, isn't it? When a manhole cover is missing, the lid
Metal is
that is
missing.
made out of metal is missing.
Correct.
When a wire is dangling, a piece of plastic is dangling.
Technically, does it boil down to
Exactly. Inadvertently, what we had done, metal, plastic, glass, suddenly gave us a new use case. And that use case, I mean, we had the highest accuracy. And Ali called and said, guys, come, we need to talk. So I went to Jeddah. I'm sorry.
you never had you opened this universe before? You never put another image and so whether it will work for other other use cases, is it? But this bought you.
This gave us instant recognition, right? And so he had, okay, going back to the sales thing, his key responsibility area, making sure that cities are ready by 2030. The KPI, if he gets this done, he moves from vice minister to assistant minister.
Wow.
We went there, we got this done. He gave us more images. We then subsequently trained our system a bit more. And in the first year, this is 2 years ago, they contracted to run 4 million inspections on our platform, which are these images are coming from CCTV cameras, dash cams of municipal inspectors, citizens snap and send, some satellite imagery and so on and so forth. They said, okay, maybe about 4 million incidents will be reported. Last month, 4 days ago, one day, 1.4 million incidents.
Wow. I mean, just to get the context, where are these incidents coming from? Is it coming to your systems?
Coming to our system.
Through which? How?
CCTV cameras.
So you have access to the government?
We have government CCTV cameras. Dash cams of municipal inspectors who are driving around their specific areas. Satellite imagery coming.
These are videos coming in or imagery?
Videos or images.
Okay.
Video is nothing more than a...
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So, and then it's getting...
It gets passed through our system. And wherever we find issues, we report it. Now,
Wow.
the outcome of that was, again, went beyond our wildest dreams. Firstly, we are able to save lives. Okay? There are a significant number of lives being lost in Saudi Arabia because of missing manhole covers. Now, a manhole is 21 feet deep, very narrow space. Person falls in, chances of them coming out are unlikely. Now, why are manhole covers missing? That's another question.
That's a good question to ask. Why are they missing?
Kids are taking it and selling it for shisha
Oh God. Okay.
because it is.
Who went down this? I mean, who asked why?
We asked.
You asked why. Okay. No, because sometimes I mean, you don't go into deeper into why it was.
Because I wanted to know what the ground level impact my solution was having. So it is. Then they said, okay, there's a pothole on the road or a sidewalk is broken. Somebody in that team said, guys, isn't this road and everything under service contract with somebody? They said, yeah. What does the contract say? Isn't there a penalty violation that they haven't maintained the road? So then earlier it was a rectification notice that used to go to the vendor. Now, two things happen. A penalty violation and a rectification.
From where does it go?
To the vendor.
Okay. So potentially there are a lot of data captured which is coming to you from the government side, and then you are identifying a lot of these challenges, and it is broadly defined into some terms.
Yeah, there are 41 different categories of what constitute public safety violations.
Wow.
This is defined by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Under that, there are some 134, 135 violations, subclauses.
Wow.
Now, what the government of Saudi Arabia inadvertently did was, one, reduced fatalities and casualties, which is what I'm extremely proud of. The second one is, they probably don't need that money, but their revenues, municipal revenues because of fines and violations, went up by 50%.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it was a sustainable
It
for
was
both,
sustainable.
for the business and also for the country.
Exactly.
That's very interesting.
Third thing was, so immediately after that, the G20 was being held in India. I was a speaker at one of the events, and the speaker after me, I was talking about technology and public safety. Speaker after me was talking about United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So a very monotonous, drawling presentation. I was halfway asleep. But he came to UN SDG 11 and he said the main yardstick for UN SDG 11 is citizen participation in urban planning, ability to distinguish between organic and inorganic waste, safe havens for people of different abilities, safeguarding of natural and man-made heritage. I'm sitting there, I have heard this before somewhere.
Was it all because...
Then I suddenly realized, this is what we're doing, no?
Wow.
So I immediately called up Ali and I said, I think you have just become UNSDG 11 compliant. Based on what this guy has told me. He said, are you sure? I said, I don't know. Get your guys to do some homework.
Again, listening. Sorry. Yeah.
And I told my team also, I also went online, did some research, and I realized, yes, inadvertently, we have made Saudi Arabia the first country in the world to use AI to become UNSDG 11 compliant.
Wow.
So that resulted in the PM meeting. How prepared he was, that was one question that you had. He knew what LPM was. He knew what LPM was. I didn't have to explain it to him. I was given a set of 11 questions before I walked in for that meeting. There was nobody else in the room other than me and him. Nobody. Okay. He had a piece of paper and a pencil in his hand.
Wow.
He heard me through the 11 questions, the answers to the 11 questions that had been given by his office. Not a word, no interjections, not talking to me at all. Kahiye, Ajith ji. That is how we started, and then I started.
Listening again. Sorry, I'm just going back to your thing, right?
At the end of it, once he knew that I had done, out of the 35 minutes that was given to me, I was done by maybe 22 minutes.
He was silently listening through the entire...
22 minutes, you could hear a pin drop, except for my voice. Then he asked me questions. The way that those questions were drafted, I don't remember it off the top of my head right now, but you could answer it as yes or no, or in the shortest possible sentence structure.
The question is framed like that.
Yeah, the question is framed like that. And, I mean, I was exceedingly happy to see that, okay, something that I had picked up as a personality characteristic is something that I share with you.
That's really nice. So it shows like how prepared they are for the meetings, and they have studied quite a bit of what the work is being done and things like that. I think that is something which we can take as a lesson for many of the students and also who are preparing for jobs and things like that. Actually, if you prepare quite a bit and do a bit of that, you also mentioned as part of this, I think if you do a bit of back study and just go to internet and figure out what is actually happening, I think it goes a long way for not only for an interview, for a sale, to actually meetings and things like that, right? I just wanted to, I mean, everybody is using the word AI more than height, as somebody told me, which is kind of becoming true now. How do you see the role of AI technically changing education? You can really see, right? I mean, some of these technologies are doing things that many people have been doing for a certain long time, last 20 years maybe. And it's really disrupting the way, and people ask me, oh, should I start learning AI? Or like, how do I cope up with this? What is your response to a student who is seeing this AI wave? You would probably have a larger perspective on how things are changing and how fast things are changing. It's really changing fast, I think. So, but what do you tell a student who really is entering this era on how to manage this change, and what should he or she do?
Be ready for massive disruption. Okay, that is That's just stating the obvious in many instances. We talk about AI singularity. It's been going on for a fairly long period of time. AI has singularity in multiple areas, okay, especially in the field that we are in. We do a way better job than humans. Our technology does a way better job than humans. That is largely because quality and some of these inspections, which are primarily human intensive, labor intensive, etc., are being done by human eyes. Don't get me wrong, the human eyes are the world's best cameras. However, they have an extremely subjective processor, which is our brain. What is quality? Quality is a defined set of parameters where the answer is a binary, yes or no, right? Plausibly, maybe, potentially, hopefully, none of that exists, right? You have to say yes or no.
Yes.
Now, humans don't do that. So, singularity has already been achieved. The machine is doing a better job than the human, right? Now, another example that I very often say, with disruption comes enormous opportunities. Okay. Now, most people are under the impression that Henry Ford invented the automobile. That's not true. It was Daimler and Ferdinand Daimler who invented the automobile, the Mercedes. Right? But they kept it as a high-end luxury item. Henry Ford wanted to make sure that the car is accessible even to people who are assembling the cars in his factory. Now, for him to do that, he needs to achieve production at a massive scale. Right? Only then can you bring down the cost. So his team went around trying to figure out what is the best way to assemble these automobiles. And where did they get inspiration from for the assembly line? Meatpacking factory district of New York. Because a carcass that's being butchered essentially moves from one person to the other because they know what to do with it, one after the other.
So he thought about it.
He thought about it as an assembly line.
Similar stories with Apple and how they have figured out how they have done it. Yeah.
Right. However, in World War I, there are 100 million horse carts, mule carts, and drivers for it. In World War II, there were 0. But there are 100 million automobiles.
Correct.
Does that mean every horse cart driver and mule cart driver became an automobile driver?
Maybe. No.
It brought in so much of new things.
Okay. Yeah.
New industries itself started.
Because the entire ecosystem changed. And many of these horse cart may be drivers. You don't know. But yeah.
But I would say that a majority of them figured out other ways to use the...
So potentially you are saying that disrupted the space and then it created a new space.
Exactly.
Right? And how would that disruption have... I mean, usually when you look at data, right, whatever predictions the most AI expert scientists have done, it will usually happen at half the time that they predicted. Like if they have predicted 10 years, it would happen in within 5 years. But not to just predict, right? I mean, I'm going back to a student saying that there are this lot of technology. If you keep following any of these models, keep evolving very fast. They are becoming smarter fast. They are able to do things fast. VO3, the new AI model from Google, can actually create movies. What should they do to keep up with this? And how should they face this disruption? It's not a normal disruption, right? It's like an IT revolution again. So how should they cope up with this?
See, I think that question, you're essentially framing it from the perspective of technology. Frame it from the perspective of the human. Okay? There are certain things that no technology can replace, right? Care. Caregiving. Right? No technology, no AI is going to replace that. At the end of the day, a human with warmth essentially needs to do that. Right? There's a very famous saying that, I think it goes like this: medicine cures ailments, doctors heal patients.
That's true.
Right. There's a huge difference between the two. Right. A doctor goes through multiple things for him to be able to heal. Now, I think in many ways we, especially in India, and this is something that we were having a conversation about as well. Why do we think that a US playbook or a European playbook is 100% cut, copy, paste and applicable in India?
Humans are same everywhere.
No, it is not. It's not applicable.
No.
So there, the startup ecosystem, so to speak. There, the startup ecosystem was not just about technology. It started with the steam engine, right? Carnegie Mellon and others were essentially investing money into new technologies, so to speak, but in many ways, which disrupted multiple things. So technology, when we today talk about it, we are talking about information technology, but electric bulb, telephone, all of these are also technologies.
That is true.
Right.
That is true.
So what we have done over a period of time is to take the playbook in the United States and put it to work in India. The IT part of it, specifically the AI part of it and the IT part of it, this has had its genesis from the Berkeley days, the UCLA, etc., to people, professors and other major corporate guys going around asking people, what are you doing? What are you working on? Why are you doing this? To see if there was possibility for it to be scaled. Right. That's how Wozniak and Steve Jobs was also discovered.
Correct. Right? Correct.
Now, you take something like that and you put it to work in a situation like India. Firstly, this whole focus of just being technology-led entrepreneurship, I think, has to change. Okay. Entrepreneurship can, even the guys, setting up a Kirana store is an entrepreneur. He may have a different way of doing it. The question is, has he figured out a better way of doing it? Right. The other most common thing that we do, this whole thing about VC funding, etc. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but I'm going to say it any which way. The VC ecosystem in India are bankers of Indian origin who traded their dark pinstripe suits in the United States for chinos in India.
Okay.
Okay. Because the ecosystem is still not mature enough. Today you have, when was the last time India actually generated intellectual property? The largest amount of money has gone into Me Too. Be it Ola, be it Flipkart, be it any of the others. They are essentially corporates.
If you look at the large sectors,
You're not generating new ideas. You're not generating new technologies. When was the last time anything outside, maybe Zoho to a certain extent, that we have a world-class company? Right? That technology, even if it's an idea, a simple thing. Can we replace plastic fishing nets with coir fishing nets? It's a thought.
Somebody has to work on it.
Go ahead and do that, right?
That is true.
How is it that India does not have manufacturing of aircrafts? Why aren't we creating hydrofoils? We have the world's largest inland waterway. We have hardly used it.
So technically, if you are looking at technology and how it is changing and looking at from a student point of view and think, there are a lot of small or bigger problems that can be solved. And if you look at it from a broader point of view, maybe some of this AI technology can enable you to do it faster. Maybe people will create more movies and people will do whatever they're doing a bit more faster, effectively, and hopefully they will create more visionary companies that like what you have built. I think, thank you so much. I mean, it was a wonderful conversation. I think we can go for hours. I think even then, I think there should be a point where you'll have to stop it. I just wanted to conclude by some of the key learnings, saying that, of course, you talked about listening and how it is important to listen to people. You go on with the meeting, at least talking to at least 60 people, and in that, I think that conversation is really important. And also the last one, of course, we talked about communication and all that, but "Puchne mein kya hai" is a very highlight, and with those PPP things that you mentioned about persistence, perseverance, and patience, I think was really mind blowing. Also figuring out your universe. I think you kept mentioning that multiple times, saying that how can you figure out the universe? I think once you figure out the universe, I think you can really go deeper into it. Any final thought to our viewers on how technology there maybe? Any final word to a student who is sitting there listening to you in a rural place maybe and want to make it big? what is that one thing that you would tell he or she?
That entrepreneurship is not about technology. Entrepreneurship is about making a tangible change to anything that could potentially have a positive impact on a human's life. Like I said, can a better fishing net be made outside of plastic? You have actually solved one of the biggest problems that India has or the world has. That really does not need a lot of technology. It just needs you to think and get it done.
And hopefully they will have the learning mindset to think and follow through that journey. Thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. I will just put it as a part one, I think, just to stretch ourselves and also, just for now. Stretch of the. I am like shivering.